Hello, Oracles. Welcome to day 2 of Adventures with Oracle Tim. I happened to be looking at some technical analysis last night and looking at some gaps. I gotta say, very bullish, very. Just looking at the gaps and the fact that we don't have any going down at all. And this is something we've talked about before, which is, can we make higher gaps than we did before and higher lows? So not to say we can't make lower lows than we have right now, but based on the patterns and trends that I'm seeing, we may have hit that double bottom that Chicken Genius was talking about previously. Just looking at the fact that the gap that we have right now is going up to 761, which we almost filled yesterday. So we have a very good opportunity, most likely going to fill that going up this week. We also have a gap that goes up to 865. I have a feeling we might hit both of those this week. It's possible. So I think we might hit those. And now, just to be clear, I don't think we're going to go right to new all-time highs from here. I do think it's going to be a rocky road. But this is the pattern that I've been talking about, is when we come back down again, are we going to make a higher low than we did previously? Currently, our low is 620. So when we get the next pullback, if we do not go and close below 620, very bullish sign, because that could indicate that 620 was the bottom. So just things that I'm paying attention to as we trade forward. But looking at the fact that there's no more gaps down below us, other than a 489 gap from November of 2020, seeing as there's no other gaps, very bullish sign for us going forward. Could be a time to add a little bit heavier. I'm not going to, because I added pretty heavy down at 620. So I'm going to wait till we get the next pullback to add more. But on that next pullback, if we do not make a lower low and actually make a higher low, I'm going to start dumping more money in, because that will tell me that we have hit a bottom at 620. Tesla Bot in the comments had mentioned that it definitely feels like there's a sentiment swing going on, swinging back to the positive. I'm starting to feel it as well. And this is something we actually discussed on here. I was talking, I can't remember who it was, somebody in the comments, about, you know what? If everybody is feeling one certain way, and we're all okay with the stock coming down to 500, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if we start to change that sentiment the other way around, we can start self-fulfilling a prophecy where we change the trends. Seems like this could be what's going on. So it seems like the sentiment swing is changing. Now, again, we've seen it happen this year. Sentiment can swing both directions very quickly and very abruptly. So, I'm going to enjoy this while we're going up, but definitely feels like a sentiment change coming. And with a sentiment change coming in the overall macro environment, let's take a look at some of the catalysts that we have coming up for Tesla. Well, the first half of June, we should be getting the proxy. In the proxy, we will be getting more information about the annual meeting and potential split information. So if we get this split information at the proxy, then we know how many shares we're going to be voting on to increase during the annual meeting on August 4th. Early July, we will be getting the production and delivery numbers. That's going to be huge, because right now, everyone's expectations are pretty low. Troy Tesla has it around 254,000. Current estimates, last I checked, were 276, but correct me if I'm wrong, I may have missed an update there. So if we happen to get numbers for production and delivery that are over 280,000, I think that's going to be very bullish. If we get numbers over 300,000, watch out. Stock's just going to take off to the moon. My current projection is 291. It's on the optimistic side for sure, but it's 291 for right now for what I have. And if we happen to get better clarity for production out of Berlin and Austin and what the ramp rates are, I think that could also be extremely bullish. Even if the numbers don't come in where a lot of people want them to be, just getting the clarity alone, I think will be very bullish, as it will give us more information to go on so that we can track the company and production and deliveries going forward. And then on July 20th, most likely, we will get our Q2 earnings report, which they have already alluded to the fact that they've got a few things squirreled away under their belt to compensate for any misses or anything that's low margin-wise, to compensate for that. So it'll be nice to see these numbers. So even if production comes in low and deliveries come in low, they could be able to offset that and have some very bullish numbers coming in for Q2 earnings. Then after Q2 earnings, on August 4th, we're going to have the annual meeting where we get to vote on the issuance of more shares for a stock split. Again, we don't know how many they're going to be looking for, and however many they're going to be looking for does not guarantee what the split's going to be. So if they're looking for 20 billion shares, does not mean that they're going to be looking for a 20-to-1 split. But all that information we'll find out in due time. Either way, the vote being on August 4th is going to be huge, very bullish. And then on August 19th, we have AI Day 2, where in the past hasn't been a huge day for the stock price itself, but it's huge for recruiting. And we are looking at the prototype for Optimus coming out, which that's going to be huge. Because if they can show that they've got a prototype out already, then the next step is production, which, as Elon has said, prototypes are easy, production is hard. And he said prototypes they can do with a team of 500 people in a matter of 6 months. But it takes production 10,000 people and 2 years. So thinking about when Elon was talking about Optimus back at the Q1 earnings call, the end of January, put it 6 months out, guess what? AI Day 2. So holding true to his word, 6 months, and we have a prototype. So now we look forward to production potentially next year. Very bullish, and I'm extremely excited for that. And then, most likely, sometime over the summer, we will be looking at Elon revealing Master Plan Part 3, which I don't know if Twitter is going to be a piece of that. We'll find out, of course, but we already know that extreme scale is part of it. So we're already looking at the beginnings of extreme scale this year when it comes to the Model Y, and then all the factories that are getting built and expanded upon. I mean, they're heading in that direction. So when we get Master Plan Part 3, should explain a lot more of that and give us much better insight for the long-term future of Tesla. And someone over on Twitter had mentioned how there's so much negativity in the media, social media, everything out there about Tesla. And Elon responded with, it's because they don't pay for advertising. And just shows exactly how we work with business, where if you pay somebody enough money, they will say good things about you. If you don't give them money, they won't. And they'll say negative things because you're not giving them money. Sad how it works, but it just goes to show how strong of a product Tesla has and how strong of a company it is, because they can still do as well as they are doing without paying for advertising, which means that they're going to get more negative criticism from the media because they're not paying for advertising. So that's also extremely bullish. And going back to my comments yesterday on how, we're just a small channel, we really don't have much pull when it comes to sentiment in the market or sentiment for Tesla. But you know what? We can do our part anyway. So, seeing as there's been so much negativity lately, it was brought to my attention today as I'm now walking up this mountain again, looking at the skies where they're starting to get gray again. And I was like, oh, not again. I'm not going to get a good view at the top of the mountain. But now, sun's coming back out. And so while it's important to acknowledge the gray times and the times that are difficult, it's also important to focus on the good things. And we've got plenty of blue skies when it comes to Tesla. Lots of positivity going forward. And even if the stock price doesn't always reflect it, when you look at the fundamentals and where the company is heading, is a very bright future, as Elon says. And the blue skies will just keep getting bluer. And I want to thank you all for the support that you've given me. This morning I woke up with no intentions of hiking because it was supposed to rain today. So I left my hotel with no gear, nothing ready to go hiking. And I saw the sky starting to clear, but my legs were sore and I had nothing ready, so I asked myself, what would my oracles tell me to do? And all of you would have told me to get my ass up here and go hiking. And then I had Tesla bot in the back of my head saying, I'm too negative. And you know what? I apologize, because lately, yes, I think many of my videos were a little more on the negative side. So thank you, Tesla bot, for pointing that out and getting me to get my butt in gear to come up here, because I would have totally missed this without you guys. So thank you all, and here's to a very bright future for Tesla. Thank you again for all of your support. If you guys like these adventure videos, let me know, and I'll throw some in here and there, because I love hiking. It's one of my loves in this world. So let me know if you like them. I'll throw some in here and there. Otherwise, if you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord channel. That link is down in the description as well. Otherwise, I will see you all later. Have a great one. And right behind me here are the 2 peaks that I did yesterday on the journey while everything was whiteout conditions. For everyone who says, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, what do you do when there's no bridge?